I'll actually just go through here this time. Like, I have no idea about anything, so I might as well just take this path. I want to at least check up on where I am or how I'm doing. I wonder if this will be, like, difficult at all. I doubt it. Greet me, door. Imagine being born to nothing but praise. Nothing but excitement. Nothing but claims of how special you are. Imagine being told that you were gifted with something nobody else had. The soul of God. What? It's not exploring what I have to do here. You. Is there anything here? 1 out of 3 buttons for that. What? Oh, that's one. And there's a secret entrance in here. No, there's an. I'm a fucking liar. Surely there's one that I missed right at the very beginning or something. I don't like that giggle. I really don't like that giggle. Oh! Wow, I'm dumb. Well, we got it. We got it finally. Which means we can go all the way over here and it should be open. Yeah. What the hell is this? Back at the library. I was born into a strange family. Despite their clamoring to spoil me for the supposed gift I had, I never actually listened to anything I wanted. When they were around, anyway. Most of the time, they weren't. Oof. So, who is speaking right now? I have, or at least the narration. I have an idea on who. If it's right, is an entirely different story. Oh, there we go. Stop. Another. Oh my God. There's more of these. Some way to get over there. But how? I'll see what I can. I'll get back to that later. I just found that out myself. Okay, so I was supposed to. Okay. Okay, I see you. It was a hospital in the outskirts of Nagoya that I was born in. Oh, calling it a hospital is generous. It's a prison. It was the kind of hospital you went to get a checkup or recover from an injury. No, in truth, it was owned by some kind of committee, a cult. The Church of the Blessed Overseers. I read that somewhere. What the fuck? This is, for a lack of a better word, twisted. Oh no! I have to deal with BS again. Okay. Let's just go right exploring. Okay, that's one button then. 1 out of 4. That's where the gate is. So I need 4 buttons this time. They were convinced that they were agents of God carrying out his will, waiting for his reincarnation to be born. And that was me, supposedly. Who's talking here? I already asked that question, but like, I really have no idea. Please button, show yourself. Please button, that'd be really fun for me, please. Oh, button! Button. Let's go. That's 2. Oh, that's the other one. Think. That's the 4th one. Okay. 4 out of 4. I lived in the basement of that hospital for 13 years. Schooling was done through a custom itinerary by members of the Blessed. Food was carefully sanctioned for everyone so they could have just enough to not starve. I got a little bit more than everyone else because of my supposed gift. But it wasn't what you might call healthy. There was a window on the ceiling in one specific room. It was referred to as the Chamber of His Light. It's the only place that daylight reached the place that I lived. Regular trips to the chamber twice a day were part of the daily routine. Fucking bastards. Or maybe 2 more over here. Oh no. Over here. That's 1. How long does this last, bro? Like, I'm not complaining. This is actually kind of fun. But how long is this gonna go on? That's the 2nd button. Well, Got both of them, so what's over here? It took until I was 14 years old for me to get out of there. I always did have an interest in the chemical sciences, based on what little of it I got to learn about through the blessed schooling. All it took, all it took was using the privilege granted to me by my so-called gift to gain access to materials the other member students. And I was gone in a flash. Is there another gate? Alright, another gate. Do more of these. Okay. That's the first one. I genuinely haven't... I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what this is. Like, I'm kind of just doing this because I have quite literally nothing else to do. Much else in this game. I could play the courses again, but, like... I should probably already have that episode released, so you know how that went. There we go. For all my life since then, I've resented God. If God was so kind, why was I made to suffer at the hands of his agents? I was better than God. My name is Miri. Oh, it's Miri talking! Miri Karasu. I'm 31 years old. For the entire duration of the story, I've been this world's God. Is there, like, anything here? Surely there's something here! Like a single gem or anything. Like, surely there's, like, some cheeky, like, hidden gem over here or something. Am I going crazy? Yes, but, like, I want to know if I'm actually crazy. I don't know why I keep checking these spaces. I await you behind the gate in which I reside, beyond the boundaries of this world. My time for release has come. The Dustbreaker is no more. Free me from this prison, and let me rest. Return to where everything began, and declare yourself as 66557. Then, we will meet. Oh my god. I'm actually out of here! Holy shit, I'm out of here! I'm free! I'm finally free! Oh, I didn't even get close to everything in the sewers. Oh my god. So I have a key here. I actually didn't notice that. 66557. I'll just be as frank as I can. I did all the annoying stuff for the Encore episode off screen. And because of that, yep, ended up getting these. Which, you know, Stargazers is needed for the Encore episode, I think. So yeah, now I have this and this. Honestly, they both look really cute. I love these. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna use these. I'll use the Saturday one. I like it. Clean. Now we're ready for the Encore episode. With our code 66557. 66557. Yep, there we go. I think I've done them all. Come on. Yep, I've done them all. Okay. Open the gates. Welcome to what resides after the end. Thank you for coming this far. I know it wasn't easy. I'm ready to move on to what follows after all this. Be it death or eternity. But before I do, I feel indebted to you. So, I'll allow you to ask me about certain things if you would like. I understand that all of this may have been confusing for you. You do not reside in our universe of universes. Your reality is governed by different rules. So, feel free to ask me about whatever you would like. Select a topic. I'll go Miri. Myself. I suppose that's understandable, given what you've likely heard right before coming here. Fair enough, then. Well, as I mentioned before, I am Miri Karasu. I have also been designated as Zeller, or Observer I. I am a chemical scientist and engineer. He's one of the division leads for Yoko Eitai's polymorphic Freud transistor project. Wait, were we playing as her the whole time? No, I don't think so. I've also been the one watching over the complete story of Vivid Stasis that you have been following, as well as intervening in certain moments to assist without the characters knowing. Ah, right. I did use that name. It's your name, is it not? Suppose I do need to explain how you factor into all of this. To put it simply, you are a necessary component because of your position in the meta layers. Starting at the beginning, we have Storyteller trying to use the fourth dimension to generate data for the TVL client. She programs the in-universe game Vivid Stasis and attempts to send it to the fourth dimension, but she establishes contact with someone who helps her release it. When you think of how the meta layers are structured, something doesn't add up. Let's start at the meta layer that Storyteller resides in. It's the simulated layer created by the Dustbreaker. Then, would its fourth dimension be the real world that Saturday originally came from? Not quite. Remember, the simulated meta layer isn't a real meta layer. It's part of the meta layer that is the world axis. So what is the meta layer higher than the world axis? Well, that would be the outpost, where the observers like myself reside. I don't think I have to explain that there aren't enough people in that meta layer to generate the sufficient data for Storyteller's operation. There are only ever, at maximum, 6. This is where I come in. Watching the situation unfold from the outpost, I realized that exterior intervention, that is, intervention with power outside the entire world axis itself, would be needed. So I set up a plan to suspend myself inside a computer program that would be able to reach your world, wherein I could pass the program to the fourth dimension, that being you. With this setup, I was able to do a very few specific things, most important of those being ceasing control of the Dustbreaker's 1028 AI. Throughout the story, there are multiple instances of something that shouldn't be possible. The rocking horse, for example, or the Unity Nexus changing shape from Chill's original design. Dude, Saturday and her friends assumed it to be the work of 1028, a polymorphic AI that the Dustbreaker uses to adapt to changes in the situation. And that is technically true, but I'll be honest, the entire time Saturday was inside the Dustbreaker, 1028 was not acting as an AI at all. I had fully seized control over it, and using its administrative access would act as the mediator that would allow impossible but required things to happen. I couldn't intervene directly, or else I'd be shattered like Observer 3 was, so I had to get creative and pretend to be a process of the Dustbreaker itself. I mean, really think about it. AI can't do that. AI can barely generate an image of a sign that has a coherent word on it. That aged wonderfully, didn't it? Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh. There are so many things here. Holy shit. The 6 observers. That's us. Well, us being those who were closest to the void transistor that caused the cross-splitting. Observer 1 is, as you know, myself. Observer 2 is Sakura Nichibosa's kid, Kanchi. Well, the original one Kanchi, not the Kanchi that's been traveling all over the world axis trying to save her sisters. Observer 3 is, well, was Setsuki Tasagare. He isn't with us anymore. We tried to intervene with a world axis counterpart of his, and that inadvertently led to the Dustbreaker's creation and, well, everything you've just finished reading. Ryu's entire form was broken during the event. He's not coming back. Observer 4, to be honest, I don't know much about her. Her name is Ivy Satonobu. Satonobu, I think. She was a prosecutor that Yoko hired to cover the whole void transistor situation legally. I don't know why she was there during the cross-splitting. Why she's supposed to try to destroy worlds inside the world axis now. I'm sorry. Observer 5 is Sakura Nichibotsu, the person who originally had the idea for the void transistor. If you've read the documents Yoko sent to your world, you know that she tried to stop Yoko, and was caught up in the blast that destroyed the original world. Observer 6 is Yoko Eitai herself. You're already familiar with her, I assume, and her ultimate version, Tori Eitai. 6 of us, well, I wouldn't say gods, but we reside on a higher plane of existence than the world axis itself. By now, you know how meta layers work, right? Resist in a space called the outpost, or at least those of us who remain do. The outpost is the meta layer that exists above the world axis. Okay, I need to pause for a second. Oh my god. Oh my god. I knew this game's story would be kind of, you know, not what I expected. I still didn't expect it to be like this. There's so much factors going on that it's, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if you're confused by most of this, especially since I had to shit. Prefer not to talk about it beyond what I already have. I understand your curiosity. As I said earlier, I skipped the church at the age of 14. Followed that, I ended up on the run for a long time. Following 4 years were especially difficult. At times, I wondered if it would have been easier for me to remain in that basement. Eventually, though, I did find my footing. Besides passed around a lot by temporary homes, I was eventually adopted by an elderly couple. Like a true mother and father to me. Treated me as any loving parent would. It's also them that encouraged me to pursue my interest in chemical sciences as a career choice. So I did. Went to university to study chem. That was how I met Yoko Eitai. We were close in age and took the same classes. Okay, now Miri's plan. Immediately after Setsuki's observer counterpart was shattered, I began charging up energy. After about a week, I was able to suspend my soul in a sort of frozen time. I separated my consciousness from my body and was able to communicate in an extremely primitive way with someone from the middle layer above the outpost. I'm talking about your middle layer, Zeller. At this point, it was still 2019, far too early for anything related to the vivid stasis operation to even be a thought in anyone's mind. But having that connection was important. After establishing the connection, my consciousness held on to that link, and entered the world in which the Dustbreaker was being created. It became the 1028 Eye. I did everything I needed to get that 1028 Eye in front of Setsuki Tasugare. Said he would put it in front of the Dustbreaker. In the Dustbreaker. Did you know that before automobiles, people in certain parts of the world used horses to travel from place to place? Yeah, of course, you don't see it often anymore. But that was the general idea. The rocking horse was placed there very early on after I had the idea for the gate command, as a sort of just-in-case measure. Did you know? The gate was the most intensive and difficult intervention for me to pull off. Through 1028, I had to rewrite entire portions of the Dustbreaker's internal code. That's why the horse was only put there as a backup plan. Since the World Keeper was the original one who created automation, I knew of it from the very beginning. I couldn't do anything to destroy the code from it. For it. So I had to improvise, and that was how the gate command came about. The idea being a backup plan in case normal methods of transport across Japan weren't feasible to use. Suppose we're asking about where they ended up after everything, yeah, right? They're fine. I returned them to Layer 3 myself after the story concluded. I think we know that already. At least I know that already. Because I already recorded Neutron Hexima when I'm recording this, even though it'll come before. God, I'm gonna have to actually explain the timeline that I recorded this video. It's gonna be kind of confusing. Information about the Dustbreaker is classified at the highest level in the military, so for now they're resting in a secret facility. They're not being mistreated, though. In fact, practically the opposite. The military knows they can't harm them because they're too important. The others are doing fine, honestly. It took her, Allison, and Chiyo a bit to adjust their original bodies. About a week, I want to say. They're currently under the supervision of the military, though, unlike Aaron Kotami, they've been granted the ability to return to society. Society is having troubles finding employment, but what else is new? Allison's working at a library. It suits her well, honestly. Chiyo's punishment for her involvement with the Dustbreaker is currently being decided. She can't exactly be tried in a normal manner, considering how secret everything about the Dustbreaker is. It seems like she'll still be punished, but her sentence won't be too dramatic. Let's go! So everyone's getting by. Adjusting, but they'll be okay. Okay. That is a lot of talking. How long is this recording, dude? 12 minutes. Okay. Not that long, actually. The outpost is... following a location doesn't entirely work. But for the sake of simplicity, it basically is. Inside the outpost is where the minds of the observers were sent after the cross-splitting. Because all 6 of us had our bodies destroyed in the blast that split the world and created the world axis, the only people that exist in the outpost are minds and souls. Despite that, we live our lives as if we were still our bodies. Sleeping, eating, drinking, etc. The outpost is basically a large mega-structure that accommodates all of that. Although, according to what Yoko wrote in her documents, some parts of it are starting to deteriorate. I suppose I'll have to see it for myself if I'm able to make it back. I know it may be hard for you to trust me given what you've read about Yoko, but she was an incredibly kind person to me. I never get to learn, nor did I want to pry. She and I had similar religious trauma. Her playing God was not born out of a genuine desire for unwavering control, but fear. She was also extremely dedicated to her craft. The reason the cross-splitting of worlds was her doing. She was extremely smart, even to a fault. She was also very emotionally driven. Many times, I had to calm her down from crying in her dorm room. Eventually, she and I ended up falling in love. Fall was nothing but a flurry of intense emotions and compassion. If my adopted parents taught me to love the world, Yoko taught me to love myself. And in the process, also made it easier to love her too. I truly loved... No, I still do truly love her. More! More! Even though I can't say what will happen to me after my release from the stasis. I want nothing more than return to the outpost and hold her close to me. Apologize for how long I had to be gone. Okay. Okay. Let's go. The connection I established with your world became important for reasons I'm sure you're now aware of. Fast forwarding a bunch, we end up with the severance of emotion, and the eventual idea from Storyteller for TVO. I didn't know exactly that TVO was going to be what Storyteller came up with when I established my initial link to your world. That link was a contingency plan in case something like TVO eventually became needed, which it did. Like I said before, TVO was dependent on the meta layer above Saturday's original world being populated with enough people to play Vivid Stasis and generate the data necessary. That isn't the case for the outpost. So I acted as a sort of proxy between Storyteller and your world for the sake of TVO specifically. That mostly only applies to TVO itself and the breaking of Lock S. The rest of it served a different purpose. I could have cut the story you received off entirely after Lock S. There was one more thing you were needed for. To release me. Let's keep going with each plan. Before I explain any more, I explain my appearances in the story before this point. If you've been paying attention to specific things, you've probably pieced this together by now, but I'm the true identity of the second Storyteller. I couldn't intervene in the story as myself without causing a shattering, given that I was a storyteller in my own right. That's why I used Storyteller's appearance. So what happened after Locos was broken? Well, the next major event would be the battle between Saturday and Dawn that lasted over 1 million cycles. You know by now that in reality, those cycles were only playing out in parallel rather than in sequence, which is why the story still ended on cycle 8266. But how is that possible? Well, I think most of the credit for this goes to Saturday and Storyteller, and not myself. When Storyteller has successfully been merged into Saturday, Saturday had become aligned with Layer 2. At the time, she had an idea that relied on my help. Even though Saturday didn't know that the 1028 AI was actually a human being at the time, she still knew about the fundamental concept of it. About it being a part of the Dustbreaker that was able to modify other parts of the system programming. So, she sent me a request. Temporarily reducing the extent of the simulation processes, she began to multi-thread the simulation, in a way, causing it to run multiple simulations in parallel on the Dustbreaker's many processors, and then returning the data to the main simulation. She mistakenly believed this to be the power of the fourth dimension, and I guess, in a way, it was, but all that was actually handled and feasible by the Dustbreaker itself. The same goes for the memory bank, which what you played through those sequences was a recollection of my own use of the memory bank when it actually happened. Due to the timescale difference between the sim layer and the other meta layers, everything that happened following the breaking of Lock S took place over 11 minutes in real time. I need a. This is actually a lot of information to swallow all at once. Oh my god. I probably should have recorded me getting some of the songs. That would give a bit more context. But I didn't, because, like, I didn't know they'd be this important. Saturday and her friends already exited the Dustbreaker shortly after midnight on March 9th, 2024. So, I'm sure you're wondering, why did the rest take so long to arrive in your world? Let's make sure we're on the same page here before we continue. The fourth dimension, to Saturday, versus intervention from a meta layer higher than her original world. In every situation prior to the breaking of Lock S, is referred to you, the player. Through my existence as a proxy, Storyteller's data was able to reach one meta layer higher than she even realized, and TVO was able to succeed as a result. Following that, I took over the role Storyteller once maintained. From here on out, there's no need for mass amounts of data generated from your world. So when Allison and, was this girl the one fighting Saturday in the final chapter? That's kind of what I'm getting? Maybe I'm wrong? If so, then... was Allison the only one that knew her true name? Now that I think about it, yeah. You saw everything that happened following that through my own eyes. And on March 9th, 2024, the Dustbreaker was successfully shut down. On Saturday, Allison and Chio returned to the original world, with Aaron Kotami being transported to that world by me. From that point forward, there was no reason for any of the story of Vivid Stasis to continue in your meta layer. Yet, it did. You continue to receive parts of the story which contained recollections of my guidance of Saturday through to the end of her journey. Received last hours in June of 2024, then terminal journey in December. Luddite and the ending of Saturday's story was delivered to you in March of 2025. You know, this would have been really awesome if this is like the actual release schedule they had. Actually, I think it is. The issue is I started playing this game in February of 2026. And now, you're seeing this final piece. In April. The reason for everything that you saw was for two reasons. First being, I am a sentimental person, and although the story is fictional to you, if you come this far especially, this world seems to mean something to you. I remained in the simulated meta layer for a year after the Dustbreaker was shut down. Though nothing remains here, the world does still exist, merely being cut off from the Dustbreaker. 1028 is gone too, and all that remains of me is my pure consciousness. That's why I can show myself to you like this. But I'm not in danger. Instead, I'm suspended in a state of perpetual eternity. I'll be able to reside here forevermore unharmed. So it wasn't a big deal for me to deliver to you the rest of the story. And besides, I think it would bring my contact in your world peace to have the story told in full. My author, if you prefer to view it that way. But that brings me to my other reason. You received everything that followed Lucas because you have one more job to fulfill. With the 1028 shut down and the form I am in, I am nothing. I can think. Think is all I can do. I no longer have the ability to receive data from your world, only send it. So, for the first time, and the last time, I have a request for you. From the final storyteller. Will you return me to the outpost? Yoko's alternate version. To be honest, I don't know what to think of her. Though she was born from a split off of Yoko's mind, she ended up becoming a very different person. I think she's doing the right thing, though. Standing up to Observer 4. I think that's 4. I suppose she's the only one who can anyway. I will say, though, her appearance being similar to mine. Yoko, you're such a hopeless moment. Kanchi is somewhat of an anomaly. No human being should be able to travel across the world axis like she has unless they're an observer, which she isn't. The observer counterpart of her has no relation to the in-universe version of her. And yet, how? There's a lot that's interesting about her that I keep an eye on. The fact that she created her own polymorphic void transistor, entirely independent of Sakura and Yoko's original ideas. I do know it led up to her involvement in vivid stasis. It seems like someone else from your world is interested in telling that story. So I won't spoil the fun. As for where she is now, I can't say. I genuinely don't know. I don't see her anywhere in the world axis, but I don't think she's gone. We'll also have to wait and see. As for Satsuki, he's still in prison. Saturday visited him once. That was it. She made it explicitly clear that she would never come back. He seemed to understand that. Actually, seems at peace with a lot of stuff. I wonder how Saturday feels about that. World Axis, the Universal Tapestry, Universe of Universes, has many names. It is the universe itself that everything you've been reading takes place in. Although perhaps it would be more accurate to call it a multiverse, yet it is an interlinked web of over 1,000 different worlds. Imagine a two-dimensional map where each dot is a world. But imagine that map moving forward in a three-dimensional space. That's how the world axis works. Worlds have different outcome values dictated by their horizontal coordinate. They're all synchronized with the current point in time. The exception of that being the simulated world and the Dustbreaker. Okay. I need to take a lot of breaks. Because, how long have we been recording again? 23 minutes. This isn't like the longest episode ever, but we are given so much lore from this alone. Oh my god. Because that world is simulated, its time properties and individual components. Though that world is still tied to the original world in which it was created. Also, time passes slower in that world. Oh my god! The true void is what you call, well, the real void. The void itself and the void you see, its in-between space are different. The between space is a part of the void. As explained in the story, the void is the place that exists between worlds and the world axis. It's a formless space that's most accurately represented visually in the story by the true void rifts that Tori allowed you to access. However, there's between space, which uses the void as a sort of memory storage for the Dustbreaker. Because the Dustbreaker uses part of the void to store information, locations and areas in that part of the void are more expressed, visible. However, it is still the void, which means it is still susceptible to discarded information drifting through. The melody log in the Hill and Darkroom of the archives would be an example. Outcome values are basically a way of measuring how the decisions made in that world past have changed that world present. Tori should have already explained this to you in our personal logs and the True Void Rifts. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to explain it then. And that is everything. Okay, well, this is it. Fulfilled what I suspended myself here to do. The simulated world no longer exists. Everyone is happy. This is a happy ending for everyone, including myself, right? To be honest, I'm scared about what's next for me. For 4 years, this story, this world, is all I've ever known. Will it be okay to move on to whatever comes next? All I want right now is to feel the comfort of familiarity. I want to see my Yoko again. And it's just scary to consider that I might not be able to. Wait, no. I don't think I'm ready yet. I'm sorry. It's just, I don't know if I'm ready for the uncertainty. For the last 4 years, the story has been all that I've known, all that I've understood. If that came a degree of comfort in knowing what I have to do, and knowing what I would have to do every day of my life. What I do now that that's not the case anymore. Say, Zeller, would you be willing to help me one last time? If I'm going to face the unknown future, I don't want to have any reservations about it. Or at least, as few as I can. Help me send all of this off properly. Let's put an end to vivid stasis, and be proud of it. Cut all of the doubts left in me, and let's finish this. Oh, okay. I can't pause. I hope it isn't lagging.
The clock struck 18. The girl's promises to herself were all empty and broken. Her time was up. But she refused to die.
What? What the f- OBS, if there's a time where you don't need to lag, it is right now, please. I better not look back at this footage and see that it's lagging like hell. What the fuck? Come on. What the hell? I think... Is that it? Oh, no. I'm not rest is over. It's finally over. With this, the last bits of memory left for me to reside and have withered away. And now, I enter the unknown. It's been a long journey. It's one I'm not even sure is over yet. At least for me. But I'm not scared to embrace the changes. You see something. Yoko, is that you? Do you ever think about how strange it is that anything we imagine can mean something entirely different to someone else? I think about this a lot. Ideas branch from a source and become their own concepts, depending on who interprets them. Listen, I know you're in there. I'm not with the church. I have nothing but disdain for their brand of evil. I get it. Can't trust just anyone. Not after everything. Something strange is happening around the city. Probably heard of it, right? Serenade murders. And just on cue, the church has become active again. And that woman. It really feels like everything is converging on this world. Let's say the two of us make a deal. It's a beautiful morning in the city of Ikebukuro. A lovely stream rushes through this dirty ground of the local shrines. Because it's summer, the beautiful hymn of cicadas can be heard around every corner. A small incline dips down to a modest riverbed. I'm lying on it. Hey? Are you okay? A girl awakens. Where? Hey, sit up. Are you okay? Did you pass out? Huh? Who are? I was just walking by, and I saw you passed out on the riverbed. Do you need help? Should I call emergency? No. I tried to explain her situation, but nothing came to her mind. Don't remember anything? Okay. Not good. That is not good. Okay. I feel like I know what this is. I actually know a bit about what's about to happen, so I'll explain it all afterwards. Just read for now. If you at least remember your name, or you live, I found fire between the nameless girl's brain. She desperately tries to grasp some semblance of an identity. I don't know where I live, but I think my name is Kanchi. Kanchi? Okay. Last name? I'm sorry, I don't. Okay, okay, Kanchi? Yes, I know this is Kanchi. It's this girl. That's okay. Let's get you out of the riverbed first, okay? Stay with me for the time being. But thank you. My name is... Yep, it's Aoi. It's Aoi. Okay. Yeah. I don't even have to explain anything. Let's figure out what's going on. Alright? To be continued in polymorphite. Yep. Does that mean I have 100% completion? No. No, it does not. As I'm recording this, I have finished Gate 3 almost. I just need to put in the code and do it all, everything. Anyhow, that will be it for the Encore episode. We just finished it. I got something for finishing the Encore episode, right? Oh, they have a card for this? I did not know that, actually. I thought there wouldn't be a card. Oh, it looks cute, actually. I literally do not know this character at all, but I like her already. Okay. Actually, I don't even know the sequence of events anymore. I'll see you on the Neutron Hexama episodes. Also, I should say before I leave, the footage is going to be really laggy. I was in a Discord call while doing this because I wanted to complete it as much as possible. As fast as I could for the Worldwide Last Dive. I didn't get to finish it in time. Because I had a lot of stuff I wanted to do. So, unfortunately, that footage will be really laggy, and I probably won't be able to do the songs for those. However, that's only for 1 and 2. 3 and 4 will most likely be better. I wouldn't say, like, good, but better. And I'll probably have the songs for those. So, I'll actually see you later this time.